Listening for the Promise, weekly devotional, Ascension of our Lord, May 21st, 2020. And he put all things under his feet, and gave him as head over all things to the church, which is his body, the fullness of him who fills all in all. It's from Ephesians. Paul's letter to the Ephesians is one of the most encouragement for believers to remain steadfast to the risen and ascended Christ, even as they live in the midst of false god, idol worshippers, and the attacks of the enemy. Paul gives thanks to God for the love that believers have shown to him and to their neighbors in the name of Jesus Christ. Now, he prays that they will receive God's spirit of wisdom and understanding so that they might come to know him even better. The more we know Christ, the more our hearts are enlightened with an understanding of the ways and the will of God. Throughout our faith lives, God continues to draw us deeper and deeper into his heart, showing us more and more of himself. We learn to put greater trust in the one who is seated at the right hand of God, that place of power and authority, above all earthly powers and authorities. For us, this means that though there are princes, kings, prime ministers, and presidents, our lives are held tightly in the capable hands of the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. We have a greater authority over our lives that extend beyond city, state, and country. We are devoted to and live in submission to the one whose death broke the very power of death, and whose life grants us new life. No earthly ruler could ever hope to come close to that kind of power and authority over us or in our lives. Christ rules, emancipates from the heavenly places, the Epiranius. The greatest influence in our lives comes from a realm that is not of this earth, but of heaven and of the divine. Even though the purposes of God start in heaven and we are enacted on earth, he has not fully redeemed the creation, so we wait in hope. We wait in faith, trusting that Christ, who died and was raised from the dead and ascended into heaven, is on the job, working to redeem the whole creation in this age and in the age to come. Thanks be to God. Amen. Used with permission from Sola Publishing.